Hey, it's Wendy here from The Nomadic Vegan, where I show you how you can be vegan anywhere and spread compassion everywhere. If you'd like more vegan travel tips, you can check out my website at thenomadicvegan.com, where you can also download a free copy of my ebook, 9 Steps for Easy Vegan Travel. Today I'm coming to you from the beautiful town of Mértola in Portugal, and I am here for a festival which only happens once every 2 years. It's called the Islamic Festival, and it's a really exciting event. And the reason that I wanted to share with you my experience here is because you might have heard me talk before about the 2 different types of vegan-friendly destinations. So there are the vegan-friendly destinations where the reason they're vegan-friendly is because there is a really strong vegan movement there, and restaurant owners and other business people have recognized the demand for vegan food, and so they've started adding those vegan options to their menus. And then you have the other type of vegan-friendly destination where there might not be a very strong vegan movement. It's quite possible that people have never heard the word vegan before, but the local cuisine is very naturally vegan-friendly, and that it just happens to have, for whatever reason, whether it's geographic or religious or what have you, has lots of vegan options within the cuisine already. Portugal is neither one of those, especially rural small-town Portugal like Mértola, where we are now. Lisbon, for example, the capital, does have lots of vegetarian and vegan restaurants, but Mértola is a very small town with a population of about 2,000 people. And as I discovered when I got here, this was not something I knew before, but as you come into the town, the big sign that welcomes you to Mértola tells you that it is the national hunting capital of Portugal. So in addition to all the typical meat and fish dishes that you see everywhere else in Portugal, you also see lots of wild game dishes on the menus here. So it's really not a very vegan-friendly place in any way. And because it's small, you also don't have many ethnic restaurants, or really any ethnic restaurants. So whereas one option might be, if you can't, if you're in a place that doesn't have a vegan-friendly cuisine itself, you can look for restaurants that do serve a vegan-friendly cuisine. For example, a Chinese restaurant, or an Italian restaurant, or an Indian restaurant. But I haven't seen any of those here in Mértola either. So I wanted to share with you my experience of what it's like traveling and eating in the national hunting capital of Portugal in a very small rural town. As it turns out, it really hasn't been that hard, and actually we've had some really wonderful food here. So in preparation, I did contact a few local restaurants, just sent a quick message on their Facebook page or on their website, explaining that I was vegan, what that means, and would they be able to accommodate me. And not all of them got back to me, but a couple of them did. And one said, "Oh, we're really sorry, but because you're coming during the festival, we're going to be so busy at that time that we've decided to limit our menu to just 4 or 5 items, and none of those items are going to be vegan. But we're really sorry, and maybe another time." And then another restaurant called Boa Viagem, they wrote back straight away and said, "Yeah, absolutely. We don't really know what vegan is, but if you help us, then we are sure that we will be able to create a delicious meal for you." So that was where we went, to Boa Viagem. And as it turned out, we still had a bit of a miscommunication. So the first night we didn't get exactly what we thought we were getting, but we managed to find something on the menu anyway. So I had seen that they had something called, in Portuguese it's called cozido de grão, which translates as chickpea stew. So I had thought, well, that sounds lovely, right? Chickpea stew. And then I looked it up, looked for a recipe to see what this Portuguese chickpea stew was, and of course it also, in addition to the chickpeas, has lots of dead baby animals in it. It has veal and lamb and pork. So as I was communicating with the restaurant before coming here, I asked them, "Oh, do you think that you could make a chickpea stew without all that, and maybe just add some vegetables or some potatoes instead?" And they said, "Oh yeah, absolutely, we can do that." Well, the first night, they told us, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have the chickpea stew for you." Then a few minutes later they came back and said, "Actually, we can't do the chickpea stew tonight. I think there might have been miscommunication with the kitchen, and it hadn't been communicated, and so the meat had already been added to all of the stew already by the time we got there." But they said, "Come back tomorrow and we will get your chickpea stew for you. So for that night we decided to see what else there might be on the menu, and there was a local traditional dish called migas, which there are lots of different types of migas, different ways of making this dish in Portugal. The name migas, I believe, means crumbs, as in breadcrumbs. So basically it is a dish of breadcrumbs that's mixed together with olive oil and coriander, red pepper paste, and different spices and things like that. So it's a totally vegan dish. Now normally it's more of a side dish, and then it's served with steak, in this case at the Boa Viagem restaurant. But we said, can you just give this the migas and with some vegetables on the side, because we saw that they did have vegetables like broccoli and carrots and peas that they were serving, again, as a side dish to their meat dishes. So that's what we had, and I thought it was pretty darn good. And then the next night we returned, and as soon as we walked in they said, okay, your chickpea stew is ready, we just need your drink orders, what do you want to drink? And so they brought it out to us right away, and it was humongous. They brought a huge bowl with, it was a chickpea stew. There was also bread. That's a common thing in Portugal, to add stale bread to a stew to kind of thicken it up. So it had several slices of old bread in there. And then that already looked like a really huge bowl, but then they brought another dish with more chickpeas and carrots and lots of things to add to our main stew bowl. So I guess they just brought us everything that they had made, and it was absolutely delicious. And so I guess now maybe I have to add a third type of vegan friendly destination. So you don't have to have necessarily a strong vegan movement, you don't necessarily have to have a naturally vegan friendly cuisine, you just have to have friendly people. Whether they're vegan, if they're friendly, then they're going to be vegan friendly, because they're going to find a way to accommodate you. And that is one thing that I will say about the Portuguese people. They are very accommodating, very open, very hospitable people. So it just goes to show that the world is probably a lot more vegan friendly than you think it is. And if you'd like to check out more, join me at thenomadicvegan.com. See you later.